a second. Oh, I cannot find my menu to share my screen. Sorry, I have some problems with the new version of Zoom. Cannot find the menu to share my screen.
It's just next to the recording.
Got it. Sorry. I hope that you can see my screen, my PowerPoint right now.
Yep.
Okay. So I would like to take the chance today to introduce you shortly about our host today, the city Taicang. As you can see from the picture from the slide here, the city is a very green city. Unlike the most cities in China, they care a lot about the environment. And this is a newly established park in Taicang. As you can see, there is a lake in the middle and a lot of green stuff surrounded by. Taicang is located in the south of the Yangtze River and being bordered by Shanghai. The city is supposed to be founded in the Song Dynasty and has a long history of more than 4,500 years. In the Ming Dynasty, the famous Chinese explorer Zhenghe started his 7 adventures in Southeast Asia from Taicang Port. This is also where our name of this competition comes from, Zhenghe. Zhenghe is for China like Colombia to Europe. As explored the South Asia, China has brought some cultures from China to Southeast Asia. For the past 40 years, Taicang has been the gateway to Jiangsu's opening up, or rather I would say to China's opening up, and is now one of the economically strongest cities at the county level in overall China. Taicang has always been ranked as economically strongest top 10 cities in county level in China, I think since 20 years. I am going to show you the next slide, which could give you a better understanding of the location of Taicang. As you can see from here, that Taicang is really very near to Shanghai. Shanghai has totally 2 airports. One is the Hongqiao International Airport, and another one is the Pudong International Airport. From the most flights from Germany, started from Germany or from Europe, will land in the Pudong International Airport. From Taicang to Shanghai, it is only to Shanghai Pudong International Airport is only about 70 kilometers and like with 1 hour with bus. And from Taicang to the center of Shanghai, it takes only about 40 minutes to drive. So it's totally not a problem for you if you live in Shanghai while working in Taicang. Perhaps you may ask me the question why I'm going to talk, why the city is focusing on cooperating with Germany. I'm going to show you the next slide. I think this slide could explain a lot. I think most of you could pick up some names that are well known to you from this picture. There's all of the companies shown on this picture has their Chinese headquarters in Taicang. Taicang is now home to more than 340 German companies, including Schaeffler, Trumpf, Bosch, Kernliebers, and German Center, which look at the names you can also find on this picture. 90 of them have successfully expanded their production capacity in China, and many companies choose to set up their Chinese headquarters, Chinese R&D center, or Chinese sales centers in China. Besides, as you can see, the AHK service company in Greater China is also located in China. I think they offer services to all German corporates in mainland China, in Hong Kong, as well in Taiwan. In order to accelerate the development of the innovation and also to deepen the Sino-German cooperation, the city Taicang has decided to organize such a competition for students and for young entrepreneurs in Germany. And from our side, some of you may already know that me and my colleagues have been engaged in building up such a platform between German startups and Chinese corporates and Chinese investors, as well as Chinese government. Since years, this is already the third time for us to hold the German division of Zhenghe Cup Startup competition. We have successfully introduced more than 30 German startups to Chinese corporate Chinese investors in the last 3 years. And we also would like to do some contributions to this cooperation between German startups and Chinese companies and government. Thus, we have a great offer for you. If you wanted to set up your Chinese business right after the competition, we have an incubator in Taicang, which names TGS Incubator. After our competition, if you would like to set up your business in China, you can get rent-free offices from us for 2 years. And in these offices, they're highly developed infrastructure facilities. And you can also get the full package service for setting up your business from our administration team in Taicang. The picture on the left-hand side is marked with Chinese. This is a layout of our office in this incubator. But I can just explain you very shortly. As you can see, some of the rooms are with a lot of tables and chairs. This refers to the co-working space and offices, depending on the room size. And the room here in the middle for the rooms in the middle, there the meeting room with bigger tables, and we have can everybody please put yourself on mute, because I hear a lot of noise when I'm talking. Okay, we have reception on every floor, and we have kitchen and pantry kitchen and coffee bar also on every floor. And the picture on the right hand side is shows you the environment of our incubator from outside. There is a bio company which has moved in since 2 months. The room-free offices we can offer located mainly on the second and third floor. So if you have any questions about this incubator or the services that we can offer to you, if you want to set up your Chinese business, you can just contact me after our competition. So in name of our host, the city Taicang, I would like to thank you again for taking part in our competition. And I would like to extend the warm welcome from them to all of you. And welcome to Taicang. In addition to the city introduction, I will also like to introduce you the board of our judges today. Our board of judges consists of three judges today. They all come from different areas. Because we want that your startup project could be evaluated appropriately from all sides. First of all, let's welcome our Professor Petridis. Professor Petridis is the attending neurosurgeon from University Hospital Düsseldorf.
Oh.
He is majored in vascular neurosurgery. If you have and has published a lot of articles on the international famous science and academic magazines. And our second judge of today is Timo. Timo is the co-founder at startupfinancing.de and is also the head of finance of controlling at a Cologne startup named OneFit. Startupfinancing.de is like a financial advisor for this, mainly for startups, and Timo could also help you with all financial related topics if your startups or your company are exactly in the situation needing for some financial advisories. I will suggest you to contact Timo after our competition. And the third judge, the most of you has already know him from our press selection, and is Chris Seifert. And Chris has studied business at one end, mechanical engineering, and is now head of production at Otto Fuchs. And he has both studied and worked in China for several years. And I'm sure that he could also give you guys some advices on the Chinese business. Last but not the least, I would like to go through the competition rules with you again. Please note that the decision of our judges board is irrevocable today. If you have any questions or doubts about our competition results, please just contact me after the competition and I will try my best to explain it to you. And each team today has 8 minutes to present your idea and 5 minutes for Q&A. The time will be monitored very strictly by my colleague Zhenghe. He's also in the meeting room right now. You will be informed 2 minutes before the end of the presentation and 1 minute before the end of the Q&A session by him. Once the time is up, we will directly put you on mute. So please don't be mad at us if we mute you. This doesn't mean that your startup project is not interesting or it's not good enough. We just need to, we only want to be fair for everyone, that everyone has 30 minutes and we just follow the rule. And the last thing is the final results of our competition will not be announced directly after our German session. As some of you already know from my email, the competition today consists of two parts. We have the German session in the morning, and we also have the Chinese session in the afternoon. The final results will be announced after the Chinese session. So please try to re-enter our room at 4:45. It's the announcement of our winners. If you are not able to attend the announcement of winners, please let us know. We will contact you later by email to inform you about the results. So I have been talking so long and so much, and I would like to give the time back to our great startups today. And I wish all startups good luck and go for it. And let me stop this. The first startup for today is, let me check who is the first. Is Smart Inductive Solutions. Stefan?
Yes, I'm there.
Oh, okay. So you can start. You're the first.
So I share my slides, and hopefully everybody can see the slide in full screen right now. Can you see full screen or can you see the preparation screen?
I see the preparation screen.
Okay, preparation screen. We can maybe switch it off, and hopefully you can. Yes, I got seconds. Now now I think you have the full screen right now.
Yes.
Is it okay? Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm Stefan. I'm a member of Smart Inductive Solutions, and we are producing the charging systems of the future. Let's take a look at the challenges out there. In the taxi business, we see lots of taxis driving with a combustion engine inside. Why is that? Why are taxis not electrically driven? Because they're waiting in lines normally, and every time they move forward, it's not possible for the driver to get out of the car and plug in a cable and plug it out when he has to move forward. So it's not very comfy in the taxi business to have an electric taxi. In the logistics business, we see situations like this very often. You have forgot to plug in the cable, you got cables hanging around and many sockets over there, and they are parked in a bad parking position. So it's a very messy logistics situation if you have logistics scooters driven electrically like this. We solve this with technology. We solve it with the wireless power transfer technology. So we got a transmitter at the lower left, which is plugged into a socket, and then you got lots of electronics in. And then you have two coils, and in between the coils, there's the energy transferred. And this is also possible when you have a small misalignment and a gap. So the efficiency is above 90%, even when we have a misalignment and a gap. And then we have a receiver side at the upper left with an IoT device, I come to that later on, which is feeding the battery of vehicles. And this could be also the logistics scooters from the slides before and the taxi in a range of 200 watts to 22 kilowatts. So what is our product? We have set up a research project which is funded with 2 million euros by the German government and is managed by our team, where we implement coils in cars, in electric taxi car, and in the road, so the taxi can charge while it is moving forward. And we set up a pilot plant in Cologne in 2022. We've got more than 10 project partners involved, so lots of experience in that R&D project, which is managed by this. In the logistics, we invented a positioning mechanism like this. So the logistics scooters can drive in and charge over the air. The energy is flowing between the coils. And of course, this is a very accurate arrangement, and you won't need plug-in connections anymore. The best thing is it starts all automatically. So it's a very automatic process in that case. We also, and this is the big part again, we also implemented smart fleet and management. So we gain lots of data from the IoT device in those WPT technology, And we have smart services, as you can see here, that we can implement into the scenarios in the shop floor on a dashboard. And I want to pick the energy management system to show you the smart service dashboard. And it looks like this. So you have the battery health status monitor. So you can see here, vehicle number 4 and vehicle number 10 have batteries in a bad shape. They're in a critical status. So scooter number 4 needs a battery change in 5 days. You can click here and order a new battery for that scooter. And scooter number 10, there's a failure of the battery upcoming. So that you need to schedule a service appointment with the manufacturer of the scooter. You can also choose the charging speed. At night we can charge with the lowest charging speed because the scooters won't be needed. And at day you have to increase the charging speed. And you can also choose the charging power here. This can be done automatically via artificial intelligence as well. And you can choose whether you want to charge the battery up to 80% only, because this increases battery health. So we got longer battery life, we got the predictive maintenance, we can predict the battery failure, and we have a higher ease of use. And of course, we use AI to have here the charging power set it. What is our business model in that case? We have here the charging power systems that we produce, and we gain lots of data into this application server. And out of the application server, we can offer smart services on a dashboard at the shop floor, at the logistics, or at the smartphone for the taxi driver. And this is suitable to many, many use cases like forklifters, like the taxis I mentioned. And we sell those systems and the positioning mechanisms to manufacturers of these use cases. And we got a monthly fee for our dashboard. So this all lowers the wear cost. We got a longer battery life, we have a higher ease of use, and of course, it's way more comfy than charging with cables. And as you can see in the year 2023, in our small business plan, we want to get a positive result. So what is the roadmap? We started the R&D project in the taxi business, and with the logistics vehicle scooter is our first customer. And in Q1 this year, we won the startup transfer NLW pitch. We got a startup funding already of 270,000 euro. We could hire an IT engineer, and we want to have legal formation in Q4 this year. And we want to do a follow-up funding because we need that to implement some new use cases. This is where China gets in. I come to that later on. We want to start the production Q3 next year and have the testing of the pilot plant. So what about the expansion to China? If we take a look at use cases that are currently running pretty good in China, we have the AGV sales increasing 57% growth rate per year. We have the forklifter business, which is increasing rapidly. And we have scooters and drones as well, which could be a pretty good use case for us in China. So if we take a look at this core value chain, then we have 3 components which are pretty important for us. We got the software development, where we can cooperate with some universities in Taicang to get some new experience, to get some new expertise in the field of AI or IoT technologies. And concerning power electronics, we have several suppliers also in the injection molding for the manufacturing of our positioning mechanism. We have several suppliers in Taicang. Could be very interesting for us to cooperate with. So what is our team? We got 2 mentors supporting us. Professor Prof is the head of our chair. We got Dr. Christian Jacobi, the head of Agiplan, is a local consulting company, consulting logistics companies. We got lots of partners in our network, like the London Electric Vehicle Company, a company that manufactures those taxis. And our team is pretty interdisciplinary. As you can see, we got electronic experts, we got also business experts, and of course that we need, in that case, the IT experts. We got a student support, and sorry for that, we got a student support, and we can use the infrastructure of our university for free. So if we're talking about wireless future, this is the solution. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you for your presentation, Stefan. Does anyone from our judge board has any questions?
I have a question actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Stefan, nice to meet you. I have a short question regarding the business model. For just to make some things clearly, you want to make the vehicles, or you product also the vehicles, or just the loading infrastructure?
We only produce the the charging infrastructure.
Okay,
So,
okay, okay.
yeah. Our customers are the manufacturers of those vehicles. And of course, we are not producing them by our own, only the charging infrastructure.
Okay. And how much would cost one of those?
Currently, we're at 550 euros, 550 euros for the charging infrastructure of the logistics scooter. And it costs us about currently right now around 350 euros to produce that.
And for the taxi car?
It's about over 30,000 euros. We have 37,000 euros per spot, but it's in the first phase. So we have scale effects that we can go under 29,000 up to 28,000 euros. Depends on the scale effects. For the pilot plant, we calculate with 37,000 euros for one spot. It's not that expensive if you respect that we got 22 kilowatts charging power currently right now.
So with spot, you mean the coil in the road?
Yes, spot, we mean the coils in the vehicle, the coils in the road. One spot is for one taxi.
Okay.
More questions? Okay. Thank you, Stefan. Thank you.
Thank you for the chance to be in the final. Thank you.
Thank you. And our next participant is fifth class, Martin.
Yes.
Hi, Martin.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I will first try to share my screen. Can you see full screen now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. So yeah, hello everyone. We are going to present Fit Class to you, the smart classes for monitoring daily health. Before we get into it, a few words about ourselves. On the left side, you can see my partner and good friend, Zhenghe, who is currently a PhD candidate in digital health. On the right side, you see me, and I work as a cloud engineer in the industry. So what's the idea behind Fit Class? It's basically based on an observation that nowadays more and more people pursue a healthy lifestyle, but while doing that, they just have a lot of obstacles. If you take monitoring food intake as an example, or monitoring a diet as an example, many people will try and use pen and paper or use apps to monitor their daily diet, but that of course has a lot of drawbacks. For example, it is very tedious and time consuming to do that all by yourself and to do that all manually, and also it will always be a sort of incomplete, and that's where Fit Class comes in. Fit Class is just like any other classes, so it's completely unintrusive, but it also has the ability to monitor your health status. So yeah, how does it look like? Basically, a Fit Class has many sensors integrated that can capture the physiological signals of the user, and can connect to the smartphone and send data reports to the smartphone, and can also connect to the cloud, where the data analysis, integration, and sharing can happen. To make it a little bit more concrete, let's look at an example. Let's say a user wants to eat an apple. then the bite sensor will notice that there's an object approaching, and then all the other sensors will be triggered and start recording. And the sensor data will then be used by the AI models to predict the food intake and the nutrition composition, as you can see on the right side. And that data can then again be analyzed. But it's not only about measuring food intake. There are also a lot of other health aspects that can be monitored, for example, fatigue and stress level while driving or studying, or measuring screen time is also possible. So let's do a quick context switch and talk about the market. We believe that Fit Class would hit a huge market potential. As you can see on the left side, the Chinese health industry market size is expected to reach 160 trillion renminbi by 2030. And on the right side, what's maybe even more astonishing, just in 1 year, just in 2019, the number of wearable pieces sold in China rose by 37.1% and reached 100 million. But of course, there are also a lot of competitors. We would basically classify them into 3 categories. On the left, you see smart glasses. These existing smart glasses rather focus on virtual reality and entertainment, though they don't really have a health monitoring function. Then there are smart watches. They cannot really monitor dietary activities just because they are at your wrist. So it's not really possible to do that. And I already briefly touched upon these food logging apps that require manual self-reports by the user, and therefore we think we are strictly superior to them. Talking about our advantages, we believe, as you've just seen, that we can fill a market gap. We believe we have a large customer base. Basically, everyone who cares about health would be a potential customer. We believe we can reach high customer acceptance. We have very versatile functions, and I just touched upon a few of them. The fit classes are completely unintrusive, so there's no user intervention needed for them to operate, and also they don't really bother the user in any way, just like normal classes would. And finally, what's very important to us, we believe that we have the technical base to offer personalized classes. So classes wouldn't just look like the prototype that you've just seen, but we could also offer different styles, sizes, and colors for different user groups. And talking about the customers, a typical customer would live in cities, would care about health, and would be able to and willing to invest on health. For example, it could be an office worker who doesn't really have a very healthy work environment, or chronic patients, or elderly people as well. Our profit model is, of course, on the one hand, selling the classes, but what's as important for us are the value-added services. So, for example, we would like to work together with hospitals to support them in diagnosing chronic diseases and assisting them with treatments, and also with nutritionists to offer customers personal health coaching. We also have a roadmap that is basically made up of 3 stages. The first one would be about 1.5 years and focus very much on research and development and patent registration. And we would start from day 1 with developing the value-added services, because we think they are very important to us. And the second phase would be all about intensive promoting and attracting a sizable user base, so that we can quickly iterate and get feedback and iterate again. And the third phase would be all about market occupation. We also have a financing plan, and we plan with about 80 million renminbi that would include completing development and testing of the classes app and cloud components. That would include obtaining core patents, also establishing production and supply chain, and establishing cooperation with 4 to 5 VAS partners. So finally, I want to give you a short preview on the current status, current development status. As you can see on the left, we already have many technically proven functions, and what's even more exciting, that there are a lot of more functions in the pipeline that are technically achievable in our opinion. And finally, here's our contact data. Feel free to get in touch with us, and thanks for your attention.
Thank you, Martin. Thank you for your presentation. So question time.
Yes, I have a short question. You just mentioned that you're currently in the research and development right now. And I was wondering, because you showed us your customer portrait, you are looking also for primary research, for looking for example, if they really use or need this kind of technology you are producing right now.
Yeah, so the idea is that we want to get to the market as quickly as possible, so that we can get that feedback and see how much user acceptance we could get, and what features the users like, and that's basically our strategy. We really want to, yeah, sort of, as I've said, iterate quickly on the features based on the user feedback. And yeah, right now we don't know precisely, of course, if the users accept the classes and what kind of features they prefer. But as I've also mentioned, we have many features that we could definitely put into the market and see if the users like them.
Okay, so like an try and error strategy, something like this.
Right. Yeah, sort of.
May I add something to this point? Hi. Yeah, I'm Ray. Hello, Timo.
Hello.
So basically, yeah, our glasses are really versatile in functions. We can provide different versions of functions targeting the customers who exactly need those things. Of course, we need some research on the market, but at the moment we are doing the research and development. I hope that completes the answer, the question.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I have a question too.
Yeah.
Who will process the data? I mean, is the data processing, is it centralized or is it decentralized?
It's both ways. So the user has the option to select whether it's centralized or decentralized. So for example, the basic sensor data will be first processed on the eyeglasses itself. It contains a microcomputer, and also further it can be processed locally on the smartphone even. But without the user's consent, we will not upload the data and to our backend, to the servers, to the cloud, whatever you call it, right? And once the user consent and wish to contribute to the grand model of a large population base, to analyze the health data of a large population base, then they can agree to upload, and then we will use the data anonymously. So also, if the user, for example, wishes to share the data with his or her personal or home doctor, that is also possible to generate a long-term report before the user goes to see the doctor, go for the appointment. The doctor already has a very good overview of the life habits of the user.
So you have a concept for this, right? Not to leak the data.
Concrete concept architecture for this.
Okay.
Thank you.
Same question as last time, maybe this time to Martin. I have asked last time how you want to compete with the big companies, because you showed now, I don't know, your competitors would be Microsoft, Apple, Huawei, Xiaomi, although they have a slightly different focus, but over the long run, let's say 2, 3, 4, 5 years, how do you want to compete with these giant companies and stay ahead of them?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I mean, you could argue that like Google, for example, has already tried it with the Google Classes.
Yeah.
But for us, it's really all about finding our niche. And as I've said, the big competitors who are in the market already, they have products that are to a certain degree similar, but that still don't have exactly the features that we do have. So I believe that we can definitely find our niche and win by specializing on on our feature set, sort of.
Okay, so let's say you have a product, it's on the market, you say they don't copy that, or that you want to have such small market that they don't copy.
I mean, yeah, that's obviously a danger once we become really big and visible on the market, that they could try and copy it.
But that's the reason why we need patents, right? Well, we are also patents. Yeah, that's a solution.
Yeah.
Sorry, time is up. Time is up.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So this is a case what I mentioned at the beginning. If once the time is up, we will put you on mute immediately, but don't be mad at it. If we if the board of judges or our participants have interest to discuss with each other, maybe you can get contact with each other later. So let's welcome to our third participant. Dominic has already shared his screen with us. You can start.
Yep. Thank you very much, Melissa. And thanks again, or thanks for having the chance to present Denkweit. My name is Dr. Dominik Lausch, so I'm the CEO. As you know, we are in a dramatic change in the car industry from combustion engines to electric vehicles, and that there are quite a lot of problems and obstacles. You can see here in this example, that's a German post car, which it's an electric car, which unfortunately burns in a residential area. So despite the fact that you cannot stop the burning, the gases are highly cancer causing. So it is very important to control the danger of this fire hazard, to which is very important for the car industry, especially in Germany, to guarantee specifications, and this in a market where you rely on suppliers for the battery, which are, I'm sure, in the future come mainly from China. So, and that this is not so easy can be seen here, because here as an example, the Tesla S consists of over 8,000 batteries, and every single battery can harm, let's say, the car by a fire hazard, or by not leading or not fitting into the specifications. So you have to control every battery. And in this triangle of quality, specifications, and fire hazard, we have developed a technology which will help the car industry or the battery industry to overcome this issue. We call this BTEC. So it is a new access to the direction and the strength of the electric currents, and got already various innovation awards, also quite high ones, and is also patented in China as well as in Korea and in Europe. So we use a very well-known and actually simple physical phenomena, and that's the relation between the electric current and the magnetic field. So every flowing electric current generates a magnetic field which holds as a vector field the information of the direction and the strength of the electric current. So in a complex device, of course, they are all overlapping. So therefore, we always talk about magnetic field fingerprint, and if something changed in the device, like an electric defect, the fingerprint changes. Nevertheless, we can also trace back to single defects. What did we do different to others? So we have developed a line sensor, which is very, very accurate. So using a quantum mechanical effect, and can measure in real time. So what you can see here is a simple measurement of my laptop. So the flickering is not a measurement issue. It's indeed the fan which is moving. And how does it look like for batteries? So you simply stroke over the battery during charging and discharging, and that's all. Then you can trace back to the quality of the battery. I don't want to spoil with scientific discussions. Nevertheless, I would love to show you how the results, as an example, can look like. So on the left side, you can see the pouch cell and the cylindrical cell, which are at the moment the major technologies in the car industry. And there are two measurement examples. So our partners, which is very important from us, they don't get just technology, they get solutions. So we are also not talking about AI, so we are very good in it. So we have we developed a technology where you can either let's say AI or the neural networks can classify on her own the measurements. We call this anomaly detection, or you can do it on an online platform which we have developed, where you can simply mark this in parallel, and AI is taught. So this is also a single product which we already sell. So this is not only possible for battery technology, that's actually possible to measure in all electric devices. I would love to show you another one, because that's our second main market and the market we actually started. You can see here a solar module, and an issue for solar modules are these so-called cross connectors. So you have to know they're all in series. And in this point, there's only one solder point. And if they break, you have an issue with the current distribution, and therefore with a zero resistance of the solar module. It means the performance is lower. And if you stroke over this module, either in field or in production, you can see that you can clearly trace back the defect simply by a very, very quick measurement. And just here's a 3D image, the current searches another way. And just to let you know, that's not a measurement error, that's indeed spots where the current changes into the solar cell from the solar connectors. So we have developed a platform technology because we can apply this on different, let's say, different markets. We have two devices which are ready. That's an offline tool, which is mainly for research institutes, and the integration kit, because we realized already very quick at the beginning that we will not be able to come into productions on our own. So especially regarding service and automation. And there we have a kind of a black box with a software where our customers can use them and integrate it into production processes or their own products if they want to. So as I mentioned, we concentrate on two growing markets on our own. It's the photovoltaic market and the battery market. Both markets grow up to 100% each year. In photovoltaics, it's more the production capacity, and battery. Let's see what happens in the future. And there's no comparable technology. However, there's always a competition in the field of the battery. That's the battery management system. However, it's very integral. So you just measure the complete battery, and it's also outside the battery. So defects within the battery are hardly to measure if they are not changing dramatically the current. And the thermography, which cannot be applied for batteries, but in photovoltaics. And a major competitor is, of course, doing nothing. So that our technology, however, is very interesting. You can see already on the big partners we have only in the car industry. That's also not all of them. So we're working very closely together with Volkswagen, and however, we have also other major competitors, and we talk to other companies. We are a very highly technical orientated team. So we are already 16 people. And all of the people have a technical background. So we have externalized everything. And also we start at the moment externalizing our sales activity. Of course, I do as well, but we work together with experts in this field and setting this up at the moment. So thank you very much for your attention. So we are searching partners for growth and market penetration in China, and we are open for all possible combinations or possibilities how it can look like. And I just want to mention that I already have one Chinese in my team, is Zhenghe. So we are also able to, let's say, at least overcome kind of the language barrier. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dominic. So, questions?
One short question. Hi, Dominic. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
How do you earn actually money?
Yes. So we are at the moment concentrated on products. So it means we really sell machines and technologies. Of course,
So
there are also
software.
other. Sorry, hardware. That's
hardware
correct.
and software. Yeah.
Correct, both hardware and software. And in the software side, it's a license model. And of course, there are also other possibilities to make money, like a pay-per-use model and so on. So we have prepared something for this on a software side. However, so far, to my point of view, it's very difficult to come into the business-to-business industry with such new, or it's not new, but with such business models. It's very difficult so far to have recurring revenues on the company side. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure.
So, any other questions or any other topics that you want to share with Dominic? No further questions. Okay, thank you, Dominic.
Yep, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So let's see who is the next. Demanostic. Is there anyone from Demanostic in the meeting room? Okay, maybe there's some problems. I will contact Demanostic later. Okay, let's wait a second. Or maybe we can, and let's see who is the next. Maybe Coleman, you could present first, and Demanostic is coming. Hi, Timo.
Hi.
Hi.
Yes. Thank you very much. I will share my screen. So it should be visible now?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, thank you. So my name is Timur, and I will introduce you to Coleman. I'm the co-founder and co-CEO of Coleman Software. And as I said, I will give you a small insight of what we do and what product we developed. So let me try to explain our focus market where we started. This is a hardly industry with so much competition and pressure to optimize like the automotive industry. So what we have done, we have identified a digital gap between the planning and the operation of a plant or a machinery or a production line, something complex like that. And what we found is we found a way to make existing processes up to, and Nautica, around about 40% more efficient. So, and if you think about that, that we are talking about complex projects, for example, in the automotive industry, setting up a new plant or rebuild a plant, we talk about project costs up to $40 or $50 million. And starting almost with $4 or $5 million. And by that, we're saving up to 20, 30, or up to 40% of some of that project costs with our customers. Some of our customers use our software, and they are reducing the operation phase round about 3 up to 4 weeks from the schedule time, for example. So we got different kind of optimization of different kind of processes in that kind of phases. And as I said, when setting up new plants, we have or rebuild a plant or a construction site, we have an increasing amount of software applications. And some of them are supporting the planning phase in front of the current view. Some of them are optimizing the operation phase, ERP system, MES system, to track the living system of the plant, I will call it like that. But yeah, and right in between there is what we call the digital gap. And inside that, there are just a few, I would call isolated, more or less well-developed application. Yeah, to get this digital factory into that planning phase or into that operation phase. And this is where we settle down. So we closed that kind of digital gap by combining the construction side with the pre-planning data. So what we do is we centralize the data from the planning systems of the planning phase, and give the access to the I would call ever-changing status within the construction phase, and that mobile, worldwide, up to date, and on any device. No matter if you talk about an smartphone or a browser and desktop application, you can access your data everywhere that you get in an up-to-date version from the planning bureaus or colleagues, for example. And we do that with a new way, we call it visual project management, because we got so huge amount of data that we took from all kind of pre-planning systems. Yeah, we developed a visual approach to visualize the current status and schedule of a project. So what is the main pain point of an OEM or a supplier, for example, in the automotive industry, is to track the current progress of your project, of your construction plant project. And the previous rough planning of that project contains, for example, around about 2,000 milestones to track the current progress. Our customers today are using around about 60 or 70,000 milestones to track the progress in such high detailed way that was not usable before with only Excel or MS Project or something like that of kind of schedule tools, for example. So what we see here is a sample screen. We see here around about 7,000 milestones. On the left side, we see around about 2,000 milestones, and only in a second I can see the current state of the progress of that part of the facility or the station that we see currently. I see the time delays. I see the current phase where a component is currently set up to. So that is our visual approach. And on top of that, we bring some more functionality to the construction side that was previously done by hand. So for example, in the past, it took hours to research and collect the relevant data for reporting to the management. And the reports were old when they landed on the CIDR desk. So difficulties need to get investigated to start the de-escalating countermeasures. And in Coleman, it just needs one click to filter and export the most recent status or issues. In fact, it doesn't matter what information you want to see on a chart. It is a question of seconds. Collaboration is a big gap. So Coleman connects all participants which are involved into a project, whether it may be suppliers, project coordinator, the general contractor, a site manager, or for example, an installation team. And this leads to simplified scheduling, supplier coordination, for example, performance evaluations, and so on. Yeah, we started 2018 as a spin-off. A little bit of my history with our software. It doesn't matter what you want to set up. So whether it is a complex machinery in the jungle of Brazil, like our customers Achenbach-Buschütten do with their foil oil milling machines, a production line or a whole plant. We already had pilot projects in the aviation industry for tracking a plane, set up a plane, or in civil engineering. The fields of application are almost unlimited. And to give you a small insight for the last minute, as I said, we started at the spin-off 2018, started developing 2009 with a software prototype. And today we are around about 17 employees, got only over 90 customers worldwide, customers from Asia, from USA. Our target market, of course, is the plant and construction side. As our facility industry is our target market. And because we got so much contacts and leads from China, we're currently focusing to get the market entry to China, and how can we solve that kind of huge step for us, because we only got one bureau today in Germany. And it's a little bit hard to get the to walk over the barrier, I would call it. And our vision is, of course, track every kind of complex project, like cell up the Mars, in Komen and with Komen, someday, somehow. Yeah, just in a second. I'm finished. Thank you.
Thank you, Timur. Thank you. I saw your very ambitious target in 2035. You want to make the Mars settlement.
Yeah, we take a look to SpaceX and the current timeline.
I think that is also the target of one of our judges. Yeah, Chris, you also wanted to fly to Mars for your honeymoon.
Yes.
Yeah, can totally understand that.
Okay, then questions.
I have one question. Product side, very great, but the main question regarding China would be, how do you enter that market, and with which people? You do it yourself, or you hire people who are open an office there? How do you want to do that?
Yeah, that is currently the most question we were facing the last month, this year. We, of course, we get the first approach to get a bureau in China, to get direct contact. Of course, we get the opportunity to find maybe a sales partner in China, and take the second step a little bit later to open a direct bureau in China. This is one of that question that we today cannot answer for ourselves, because the step to open to directly open a bureau in China is not so easy to answer. We're currently at the beginning of our questions, like how can we protect the software, how can we protect the IP in China, how can we protect the company itself, and that's, yeah, as I said, we're currently at the beginning of that kind of questions.
Just as an advice, 2 key things for China is you have to be there as a local international company, and you have to be there yourself. So doing it through a distributor who has maybe different interests than you have is not a good idea.
Yeah, that was what we heard from our from VDMH, for example.
Yeah,
they they give us the same advice to open a bureau directly by ourselves, and not to do this by a sales partner. And yeah, the local presentation we heard from our customer BBAC, for example, it is much more efficient to open a bureau directly there.
And you need to be prepared to be there yourself.
Yeah.
So the Chinese customers, they want to see you and don't want to meet somebody who's just like a puppet there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we find out that it's something like the same like in India. So you have to build up an private relationship with your customers in China.
I have a question too. Could you expand your market towards hospital buildings and research facilities too?
Yeah, of course. We started with some pilot projects already 2018 in the civil engineering, where they built up some large bureau centers, or in the last year together with Züblin, we tested the software on site at the Daimler construction site in Stuttgart themselves. And for Coleman, it doesn't matter which kind of industry or use case you do have, because we can import every pre-planned data, and it doesn't matter if it comes from a schedule, from a BOM list of Excel, from a CAD plan of the digital factory, or an CAD plan of a construction building that came from the BIM model, for example. Because what we do is, we attach many more detailed milestones and visualize the progress of that. That is the main way, because what makes us so interesting for aviation industry also. Because if you think about a large airplane, if it have to go to the repair cycles, they have such kind of huge amount of to-dos in a very small time, and they have to track very hard the current progress, and ensure the schedule delays can be held to a minimum.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Timur. Thank you, Professor Petridis. I think we don't have enough time anymore for further questions. So thank you, Timur.
Thank you, too.
Thank you. Okay, our last participant, Demanostic, is also on the line right now. Ola?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hi. Okay. All right. Okay. You
I will
can
share my
start.
screen.
Okay.
Can all see the screen? I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'm proud to present to Demanostic today, Dermatologist Wire App. So not only in Germany, but I think it's over the whole world, we have the problem that we have a low availability of dermatologists. For example, the waiting time in Germany is about 40 days for an appointment. And there are some areas where you have a low density of dermatologists, who have to travel a long way to get to one. And a huge problem is that diseases get exacerbated by late diagnosis. So when you wait too long, it's much cost intensive, and it's for the patient, they suffer from their disease. So patients need a quick clarification. And here you can see some WhatsApp chats from our dermatologists and our team. So friends and family ask them, hey, can you see here my skin, what's that? But for the patient, or for the people in the world who don't have a dermatologist in their friends and family area, we created Demanostic. You download an app, it's for free, the download. There are 3 images you take from your skin disease, fill out a short questionnaire, and you will get a diagnosis within 24 hours and a doctor's letter with a therapy. And if you need, you get a prescription too. So over 90% of all cases in dermatology can be solved with images and questions. There are huge studies on that. And since 2015, the image quality of smartphones is great enough for the diagnosis. And we're on market since, I would say, 2 months. We took saw about 1,000 patients, and over 80% do not require a visit to a practice anymore. So they mainly, the 20% need to go there for blood diagnosis, or if you have to look further, for example, for a surgery. So we have a high rate of satisfied patient within the short diagnosis, and we have 13 patients we found with suspected skin cancer, and a later diagnosis would greaten up their disease. So diagnostic costs €25 per case. It's no subscription model, and the duration of the diagnosis is within 24 hours. So we are real doctors, and we offer a real medical diagnosis and therapy of skin diseases, and we're not a cosmetic apps. So with our app or our service, there's a real medical assessment, and you can look at all body regions, and we also advise you a therapy, not only a diagnosis. So that's more than just cosmetic skin analysis. So our competitors, especially in Germany and the biggest worldwide, we have some USPs I will show you. The first one is we implemented a medical advisory board. I will show you later, the doctors in our advisory board, and about 15% of all diagnosis, there's a second opinion. So we higher up the diagnosis safety. And our model for legal is so that that health insurances can pay for the patients our service. Not for now in Germany, but in future they will. And we have a large network of doctors, especially in Germany. It's because of our second company. I will explain later on. So we have a lot amount of dermatologists in our service so that we scale up very easily. So here's a short presentation of our founding team. We have 4 doctors. So we know the needs of the patient and the needs of the dermatologist too, and we exactly know what the market wants from a service like that. So we have experience already in business company founding, because we founded 2 years ago a Dermatolog-in with certified online training courses for doctors all over the world. So we have this large network for doctors, not only in Germany, but in Europe and especially in South America and Asia. So this is a team behind the founders. Of course, we have support in technical and marketing, but also our dermatologists. There are different professors and dermatologists with a specialization, for example, for younger children or for special genodermatosis. So it's for diseases which are in the whole family. So our vision is that the patient all over the world can easily get access to a dermatologist, not only in the own country, but for example, when you're on holidays or etc. And I think it would be a great vision for China too, because the people in China are very, very used to smartphone services, and in their smartphone, this telemedicine services. I think it's much more than in Germany. So our need is there to easily enter the market, and that we need some help for the right contract in China too. Thank you.
Thank you, Ola. Now it's question time.
I do have a short question. Hi, Ola, nice to meet you.
Hi.
Could you imagine like a product extension with your software for further diseases?
Yeah. It's a good question. We think about that too. So we started in this dermatology market because we said it's important to go on the market who's the easiest for picture and images. It's dermatology, but for example, I think about wounds in surgery. It can easily be done with images, or for example, even ophthalmology. For example, when you go the first time to the doctor, you need to go there, but for the second or third time, you just need an image on that. So we can easily spread to other specialties in medicine, definitely.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
I have a question too. Do you have any data about sensitivity and specificity of your diagnosis? I mean, do you have any comparison to your diagnosis and the one when the patient goes to the dermatologist actually?
Yeah, so there so mainly I can say there are huge studies in the world, mainly from Australia and Brazilian, because they had this telemedicine service since 2010 and 2011, and they have a rate of sensitivity of about 90%. It's not significant between a dermatologist in the practice. And our data, what we do is, for example, we say, hey, patient, you have this and that skin disease, and take this therapy, and in 4 weeks it should be better. If not, please contact us or contact a dermatologist. And after this 4 weeks, we call this patient actually and ask him, hey, is your skin disease getting better with our therapy? So that we, in a way, go after our patient and go with him to admire the best medical service we can. So about our sensitivity, or our specificity is, I would say, about 90% too, like the studies. But it's
That's nice. And the patient is able to see who his doctor was or is?
Yeah, of course. So that's the legal appointment in Germany, that you have to, the patient have to see which doctor goes for him. And yeah, this when you get this receipt and this doctor's letter, there is the name of the doctor, of course, and where it's from. Yeah.
I have one question. How do you want to approach the Chinese market?
That's a good question. Thanks. So we know a little bit about the Chinese market. So it's not that easy to enter the market. I think there are two ways where we can get in. For example, at first we would like to start with German doctors as well, because we have this doctors team already in our company, and so there I imagine there's a way that, for example, you put the app in this Chinese market, and the images will send to Germany, and yeah, will diagnosis by a German doctor. I think in the second step, it would be necessary to also onboarding with Chinese doctors, because there are some diseases, there are local, for a local enhancement, for example, in China and not here in Germany. So there are, I don't know what diseases, but I think it's very important to work with the local doctors in China too.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Ola. If there is no further questions, we will move to the next project. Connecting media. Andreas? Hello, Andreas. I see that he is already on the line, but I cannot hear him speaking. Hello? Ah, okay. Hi, Andreas. We cannot hear you. I cannot hear you. Can anyone else? Has anyone else, or can I hear you? Okay. He will connect his headset. I'll come back in 1 second. Seems to a lot of people have trouble with Zoom today, like me in the morning. As
So now you should hear me.
yes, now I can hear you.
Perfect. Yeah, now the energy is back in my human body. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you again. I'm sitting here in the Silicon Valley of Germany in Karlsruhe with nice weather, blue sky, and happy to introduce you today with our service cockpit. Let me show my screen for you. So here you should see now my slides. Can you see it?
Yes,
Perfect.
I can see the whole PowerPoint. Yeah.
That's good. Then we can start.
Okay.
So for them who are new today in the session, my name is Andreas. I'm a founder and CEO of the company Connecting Media, and we created our first own product since 2018, which is called Service Cockpit. We are focusing on the whole IoT market, and I thought it would be great to make a definition of what we are talking about right now. So we have the big challenge in IT that we are talking about any devices, anybody needs to use anything worldwide. We have support teams all over the world to support power plants, to support wind energies, to support every kind of industries. We have any business, so we are not just focusing on plants. We are happy to support everything which is in industry with a network connection or is there's a need to plug into the internet and anything. So it's also any network, and you know it much better than me. We are living in the year 2020, so we need the 24-hour support worldwide to guarantee our international friends to provide them with good solutions. The reality right now, I thought a picture is more better than just distribute words. So we have a worldwide network, we have various industries, we have various networks, we have various arts or kinds of devices who need to be supported, who need to be qualified, who need to be secure. And that's the main challenge in the year 2020, to have everything handled by an IT department or by a support department. And we know it much better. We are just humans. We have just one head. We have two hands and two eyes and need to be overviewed everything in the industry. So the problem is here also drawn. We have various teams. Every team has their own dashboard. Every team has their own silo of information. Every team has their own kind of process. They are processing problems in the IoT world. So that's definitely a problem because everyone needs the same data if we talk to each other in various teams. So the solution is quite easy. No worries, that's not me. It's just Nike, in which we distribute Service Cockpit. So Service Cockpit is the solution of all these problems. How it works, we are talking about a single dashboard who is able to connect the existing environments via a REST API. So it doesn't matter what kind of dashboard, what kind of network device or anything else you are using in your current network. We can connect everything through these API channel to make them not redundant, to make them more sexy to administrate, more sexy to support on a higher service level. So you need less resources. You don't need to build up your team with 20 or 100 service engineers. So you can do automatic IT and security service out of the box for IoT industries. We've also a cloud integration because we have also in the solar power industries or the power plant industries, various vendors. Some vendors are providing the dashboard locally in your own network. Some are using cloud infrastructures to provide you with the information whether the device is online, offline, has problems, is distributing a problem, or if we call about smart meter and smart metering, the measurement is also sometimes in the cloud. So we are also able to administrate or to pull the information from the cloud into our dashboard. IoT device, we are here also very flexible. It doesn't matter which vendor we need to connect. The only thing which is mandatory is we need to speak TCP/IP, and it also doesn't matter whether it's IP for version 4 or IP version 6. Due to these facts, we have a central monitoring. So this is no marketing slide. This is real slides. So we already have this solution in the market. We produce this dashboard already, where you can have the central monitoring. It's also scalable because it doesn't matter whether you have 10 devices to connect, 100 devices to connect, up to more than 1,000 devices you have to connect. You have every time your single dashboard where you get the information for. We have reports where you can create your own reports to say, okay, for this system, I need every time this information. I want to have a whole overview about the stuff. What is my kind of situation right now? And as I've spoken, we don't want to make the existing dashboards redundant. If you see here an arrow, you can easily drill in and say, okay, that's the power plant. You click in the event, and the dashboard of the power plant, will be open. So we are making not other dashboards redundant. We make different dashboards together working with a single point of view. The modularity is really great because, as I introduced already through the API channel, we are really flexible to connect everything you want. And we've also configured alarms. That means if we have events on it, on systems which are really business critical for you guys, you can connect an alarm and then you get an email or an SMS or something. It doesn't matter. It depends on the customer scenario, and you know exactly what's wrong in your environment. As I mentioned, we already produced the version 1 of the product. So version 1 is available since January this year. And if you can see, we are also flexible in terms of language. The whole dashboard is created in English. So we said, okay, that's perfect to enter the international market more easily if we created everything in English, because more people are speaking English than German. So we already have the focus to be international. It's also easily to integrate Chinese language, but I can't speak Chinese, so sorry for that. The deployment is also quite easy. We have a single APU board, which is really thin. It's 10 on 10 centimeters for single or small departments, because mostly the power plants are on the field and the building of the EIT is not in the field, it's in a city. So you need to collect the information up front to cache them, because you don't want to have any information of power plants or solar parks directly in your office. So you just want to have the information which are important to solve problems, or the information if things are going wrong. The other solution is we are also flexible in the deployment, because we have a Docker image with the solution. That means it doesn't matter whether you're running Hyper-V, you're running VMware, you're running any other kind of virtualization, we can provide it. It's also cloud ready to Docker image, because AWS, Alibaba Cloud, and Azure Cloud are supporting Docker environments. So I would say there's no limit to use it. Some real facts as a summary for myself. We are talking here about the virtual or hardware solution. We are 100% German developers and a 100% German support team. The go-to-market is already done in January here in the German markets, and we already have 4 reference customers in the IoT area who is using our solution in a productive environment. And now we are from version 1.000 to version 1.06. So on every month, we are deploying a new version with updates or bug fixes. So many thanks for your attention, and I'm happy to hear feedback from you or your questions. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for your presentation. So now let's get directly into Q&A session. Questions? No one has questions?
Okay, great.
Yeah, I have one.
Okay.
Since we have China focus, China's a little special regarding IT environment. For example, as a cloud builder, you're not allowed, let's take Apple Cloud, you cannot have a server in US, you need to have a local partner in China to establish Apple Cloud in China. How do you want to navigate this environment here?
Yeah, I'm definitely aware of this because we had also the same challenge with VPN connections through China.
Yep.
But with this Docker image, we are able to run this locally in China. So there is no need that you need a connection to us here in Germany. You can isolate the whole solution and run the whole solution in China without any connection to US servers or Europe servers. It can completely host it by yourself.
Okay.
Okay, then I assume there are no further questions. So Andreas, thank you for your presentation.
Many thanks.
Thank you. So let's move to our next startup, Roman from Fortphone. Roman. Oh, I see you guys. Okay.
Hello. How are you doing?
I'm
can
doing
hear us?
good. Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. We need our third member to share the screen really quick.
Okay.
So Gabe, are you ready?
I shared it. I need to get the.
Okay. Yes.
Perfect.
Okay. Now I can hear you and can see the presentation.
All right, thanks. So yeah, we are from Wolfgang, and I brought today a power bank. Why? Because this is like our product, just 100 times smaller and not environmentally friendly. The current problem of solar system owners is the acyclic behavior of energy production versus energy consumption. During daytime, when nobody's at home, the sun is shining strong. But during nighttime, when all house members are away, the sun is not present anymore. As a result, it makes sense to store the energy from day to nighttime, so that the house owners have to buy less external electricity. On the other hand, we face an increase of electrical cars without a solution of the final battery recycling. Our solution for both problems, the Volt Fan, the first system which enables the use of pre-owned car batteries. The system contains three main elements. The first one is an inverter, which is a smart battery charger. The second one is a pre-owned battery itself. Our main component, which we program by ourselves, is a Sonect, which enables the communication between the car battery and the inverter. The whole system can be installed in any house without the knowledge of the electrical wiring of the pre-installed solar system. The Voltfang has four key benefits. Like other home storage, it is supporting the renewable energy change and increases the self-sufficiency of the house owners. Our unique selling point is the use of pre-owned batteries. As a result, we save 1,000 kilograms of CO2 and 50 kilograms of raw material per house battery. Additionally, this enables the path of significantly decrease the investment cost of our customers. We distinguish ourselves from the competitors in two fundamental categories. In the first one, the environmentally sustainability, we stand out from the crowd by using pre-owned batteries, while the other competitors have to rely on resource and energy-intensive battery production. As you can see, we also offer the most affordable solution. We beat the average price of a home standard battery by almost half. In our business model, the revenue is generated by selling the Voltfang. Through a very simple and innovative ordering process, we distinguish ourselves from the competitors. The Voltfang has to be ordered at a uniform price, including installation, delivery, with just one click. Callbacks are not necessary due to the plug-and-play concept. After ordering, we immediately contact the local installer and deliver the Voltfang.
So these advantages also fit very well into our customer profile. They have an environmentally friendly attitude, which is why they got a solar system in the first place. And they're also not afraid to try out new products as innovators or early adopters. The total market consists of all solar system owners in Germany, which are about 1.3 million right now. Our focus market consists of the owners for whom the EEG subsidy expires by 2030
and therefore home storage is especially profitable. This will enable a market of 1 million solar owners who will be in need of a home storage. Our target until 2030 is a market share of 2 to 5% for these owners with expiring subsidies. This would enable us to sell 20,000 units with a turnover of 140 million euros. Here you can see the major milestones for the upcoming 12 months. We finished the theoretical development as well as the market analysis and price calculation. And about 1 month ago, we reached a major milestone in our history: the development and installation of the first Wolfgang prototype as a real customer. Therefore, we will move into phase 3, in which we want to extensively test and optimize the prototype in a real use environment and based on the customer feedback. Moreover, we will work on the certification of the product. We are planning to start the mass production and go to the market in summer 2021, so next year. In terms of international cooperation, we want to collaborate with Chinese and international universities in every possible way. We want to develop new ideas and improve the current state of our technology. Therefore, we want to work with companies and businesses in China. Our vision is to contribute to a sustainable and clean world. We are looking forward to use the benefits of an international supply chain and to create the best possible product. For our product, we need a number of different components. Major parts are several microcontrollers. As you can see, China is a market leader with a market share of over 50% in this field, and the most knowledge is also found there as well. More precisely, we are already in the process of establishing connections to Chinese manufacturers in Dongguan area. For the software, which we develop by ourselves, we are looking for the best possible hardware setup. Therefore, we are depending on the knowledge of our future partners. We will design our board with companies from China in the near future and most likely also produce it there. For the final assembly, we are discussing whether we want to build it in Germany or abroad. However, it would be also interesting for us to explore the possibilities of assembling everything in China. Another field for partnership with Chinese companies is offered by the synergies in the battery supply for our product. As you can see in the graph, China recognized the potential of electric mobility early on and already has a large number of electric cars on the roads. This means that there are also already a greater number of used batteries on the market that are suitable for the use in the Wolfgang. Chinese automakers are increasingly switching to electric car models, partly also because of governmental regulations, and manufacturers such as Geely, Bike Group, and JAC are therefore ideal partners. Geely in particular is building up its expertise in the field of electromobility with European manufacturers such as Daimler and Volvo, and could therefore be considered for an easy integration. And just a couple of days ago, JAC and Volkswagen also extended their cooperation. So finally, I would like to introduce our team. Our team consists of 2 industrial engineering students, which is David and me, and the mechanical engineer, Roman. We are all from the RWTH in Aachen and are doing our masters right now and will finish our studies this year. All in all, it's not this project or the university that unites us, but also long-lasting friendship. So in order to realize our idea and the upcoming milestones, we would like to have the chance to visit China and make use of the corporations which are possible to the Zhenghe Cup. Thank you very much. And also we brought a picture of our prototype, where you can see the first prototype at the customer on the left side of the picture. And in future, we will try to, or we want to combine these 3 single components, of course, into one product, which is on the right side. The vision, which is also kind of a lifestyle product and should look nice. Yeah, thank you very much. Open for questions.
Thank you, guys. So now question time.
Short question here. Just regarding your prototype, how much cost would it, your prototype?
Right now, for the first prototype, we had costs for about 4,000 euros in components and assembly, but it's of course just the first prototype, which we built with buying the units one by one. So the price might go lower with scaling it up and building a better assembly. But right now for the prototype, it was 4,000 euros, all including and also the installation at the customer, because it's just 1 hour of work and we work with electric installation, and yeah.
Yeah, and in the near future, we probably get better scale effects, especially by the battery, because we bought the battery from a small seller, but we want to extend the whole thing and want to get into the Norwegian market, for example, because the batteries are cheaper even there. They have more, of course, so it would be a big potential there as well.
Okay, thank you.
I have a regulatory question. Are you allowed to take a automotive grade battery into any house in any country, or does it vary among the countries?
They have to do a little bit different tests. So
okay.
Just know for the European Union, so they have to do different tests than car batteries. But with our case, we want to make this possible with the certifications that we can integrate every car battery and fulfill the certification as well, of course.
And for China, it would be the same?
For the Chinese market, actually, we, of course, looked into it. For selling the product to private house owners, it's not that useful right now because they sell the electricity for about 3 cents right now and can buy it for 6 cents. So the difference in using their own energy isn't that high. But in the future, the Chinese market would be possible for bigger industrial applications. So right now, not for private households.
Okay.
I have a question too. How big would be the cost for certification in Germany to certify the device? Do you have
so we have to do the certification for battery by battery. For example, we are right now doing with Tesla, and it depends between 10,000 and 60,000. It depends kind of on your preparation. When you're good prepared, then it's almost more than 10,000, which is good for us because we have like the university in our background, so we can do the pre-tests in the laboratory at the RWTH. So it's getting more to the 10,000 instead of the 50,000.
Nice.
Okay, I think there is no more question, or anyone has some further points. Okay, then no more questions. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you later. And our last project for today. Let me check. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hi, you're already here?
You can hear me?
Yes. Our
Right.
last project for today is Wave Factory 3D.
Yes, Chris, you can't see me, so I put my picture of myself here because my camera is broken. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about continuous 3D printing. Because the entire topic of 3D printing has been a hype in the last, between 2010 to 2014. Even President Obama talked about in the Congress promoting that, or even famous Chinese CEOs talked that it's going to be a big revolution in the manufacturing. But where is that? Well, it comes down, the revolution didn't come because it comes down to two problems. Number one, you can't print unlimited sizing, or you can't produce larger objects on 3D printing. The second problem is that it's very difficult to make automated batches because you physically need to take them out and then restart the process again. So it's, of course, a very high process. That means if you want to scale, you have to have a lot of human capacity behind that. And of course, interactions with each print. It takes a lot of time compared to the traditional manufacturing model. And the danger with 3D printing, should always monitor it. If you leave it overnight, you know, things can go wrong, and then your entire building, or at least the printer or more things can burn. And finally, of course, you're limited on your production capacity. So imagine if these problems would disappear with a new way of printing. If you would be unlimited in size and you would be able to fully automate, automatically print in series on batches. Well, therefore, we have developed assembly line 3D printer. At the moment, it's for FDM prints. That means with polymer printing. I will later tell you a bit more features in depth, but overall, the printer is just a medium. We actually analyzed lots of studies, publications, and surveys with manufacturers all over the world, and they all say it's very difficult sometimes to print. Therefore, we focus on the way of remote control. That means the printer is just a medium that is being sent to customers, and via that, remotely, our engineers can actually interact with the customer and help the customer to print the parts. Of course, paid per hour. It's like it's a service model. With that, as we use cameras, camera control and quality control tools, you can print as well overnight. And if it's a larger facility, actually several teams can work on several printers at the same time. So far, what we have done is we have built 8 different prototypes. Ourselves, we have used for our own production processes over 1,000 parts because we have 2 other businesses. And we partnered with the largest filament producer called MCPP. It's Mitsubishi owned. We have made some revenue, and we actually have a longer customer waiting list. And what we do for the start, we launched Kickstarter campaign in August. But what's more interesting is that we have prepared 2 patents for that, and more will come. We will file them once the business unit is finalized. And the business model on the B2B printer is between 2,000 and 5,000, depending on the printer size. So we will have 3 different categories, starting with a easy model with cheaper parts, a medium around 3,000, and a larger surface model going up to 5. Like I said before, it's just actually a medium to make more revenues, especially on the printing as a service, where we sell hours or engineering hours, and we sell filaments through that. With that, customers can have all sorts of use cases, starting from printer farms where they don't need to physically anymore take out the parts, going to small-scale production of parts, even or for educations or universities, for example, each semester before their exams for design students or architecture students, they have to print objects. And if you've been in such a lab, they are always occupied, and students have to wait for days until they get a spot to have a printer. And all of these kind of problems would be obsolete. Who is behind this company? Mark Sporhoff is a top-notch German engineer. He has designed over 40 printers and built physically himself 5 printers. Martin Huber is an award-winning inventor and business chemist and engineer, and he is our chief innovation officer. Myself, I'm a serial entrepreneur. This is the 5th company that I'm starting and co-founding with people like Eugene, who is a former Rothschild investment advisor, acquired this guy a year ago. He joined our team. So overall now we are 11 people. We didn't meet randomly. Actually, we were doing together as well on the other project with a 10 million valuation on energy, but through Corona, we got some troubles. In parallel, as a hobby, we worked on this project for the last 2 years. And when we then decided, hey guys, look, let's turn this into the business, because we've been busy actually already for the last half a year on creating a ready go-to-market product. And we've talked to manufacturers, we've been at exhibitions as a team. We've been with Max last December in China, in Shenzhen, Guangzhou, Shanghai. We have presented this concept. We have as well achieved, we have received invitations like that we pitch now about. So it will have features like digital management platform or an AI assistant printer control, where it's a virtual model that is just basically checks if the print is correct and then notifies the user if, for example, there's an error. However, on the business side, we start in the next months with a bit more funding, the development of SLA, a printer. It's a stereolithography printer in order to work on bioprinting, because we see the topic of being use case focused is super important. That means we start, our team members have actually experience, they come from bioengineering. So we work on this kind of use case where we create leather. A similar company received 10 million from a Chinese investor 6-7 years ago. And this is why you need 3D printers, because you need to put the cells already in the structure so that the cells can grow faster on that. And because we use assembly line, the costs of this kind of production go low dramatically. So what is the roadmap? We finished the Kickstarter campaign in September, where we already start sending it out. As well, B2B printer, we are ready with that for sales by the end of the year. And if all goes well, we start, in terms of financing, we start an R&D center, because we need to have more patents. We have more ideas about that. Start a business location in China, and of course go for then full speed from second quarter of the next year. Thank you so much. We look together to collaborate with China. 谢谢.
Thank you, thank you. Now Q&A time. Questions? No. Okay. No. I think your presentation perhaps has clarified all questions that they have. They don't have any more further questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. So the time flies so quickly. We have already reached the end of our competition, our German session. At this moment, I would like to express my thanks to our jury team, to our startups, and to our audience again. Dear Professor Protrides, dear Timo, dear Chris, thanks for your time, and thanks for your awesome comments and questions during the last 2 hours. And dear startups, thanks for your participation, and thanks for your interest in China. Even though our competition will end in some minutes, I will see this more like a fresh start of a new journey to China. I will stay as your market advisor to the Far East. So if you have any questions related to the Chinese customers or Chinese market or Chinese business context, or even to any financing in China or financing with the Chinese investors, just feel free to contact me. Just call me or drop me an email. My email address and my phone number, I think all of you already have it. I'm always happy to discuss this with you guys, and I'm always there. I will always there and will try my best to offer you any help that I can offer. So as I already mentioned at the beginning of our session, that the winners of the competition will not be announced directly after our session, because we still have a Chinese session in the afternoon, and the announcement of winners is planned this afternoon at 4:45. So we would like to invite all of you to re-enter our room at 4:45 for the announcement of winners. But if you already have other plans, since the sun is shining so well outside and are not able to attend our announcement this afternoon, it's also not a big problem. Just drop me an email and I will send you the results of today later by email. So thank you for your time and have a nice weekend and a sunny Saturday.
Thank you. You too, and have fun with the Chinese startups.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.